Warning, this podcast contains a near hit and run. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Pretty Little Liars, Season 6, Episode 17, We've All Got Baggage. I'm your host, Dom. With me, returning from 2 podcasts ago, Nikki!
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Ish.
Ish. Goodish?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a word? Goodish?
No.
No. Well, what'd you think of this episode?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Very indecisive right now.
Why?
I'm still on the fence with this show. I mean, yes, the changes are, they're phenomenal in comparison to the before the time jump. It's just, it feels like everything's going back to the way it was, and I didn't like it that way.
No? You didn't like murders and mystery and...
No.
Why?
Didn't like the way they handled it the last couple seasons.
I mean, they're gonna lie. It's in the title, so that's always gonna be a staple of the show. There's always gonna be mysteries. And there's always gonna be murder.
I mean, I did like, how, was it Spencer? Not Spencer. Was it Spencer and Mona? They kind of, smooth things out a little bit, but Spencer's still kind of a bitch about it. Even though Mona's really trying.
Yeah. Mona's always going to be one of those characters that we're never going to fully trust no matter what happens. After everything that happened, you can never fully trust her.
I trust her.
She was still being sneaky as shit. She was the one that planned on leaving the phone there.
Yes, but to help Spencer.
Yeah.
So she claims
I guess. But, so the episode starts off when they go looking in Sarah's room. Here we get Hannah, we get Emily, we get Allison, because they're trying to convince Allison that Sarah's the one that murdered her or was obsessed with her or something. So they all rush to Sarah's room, and the hole in the closet is just gone.
Yeah, that's odd.
It doesn't look like it was patched. Like, normally, somebody puts the sheetrock panels in, whatever, and then sands it down and then repaints it. You can still see something was done.
Just put up another wall.
Right, that's the whole thing, is how would you sneak... Well, I guess you bring it in through the hotel. Like, not the hotel, but the back entrance. Like a whole piece of sheetrock like that, but then she'd have to climb with that piece of sheetrock up the ladder, and I don't know, it seems like a big project. But the girls know where the door comes out to leave, so I don't know why they wouldn't just go in through that.
Yeah, like go in through the back, like, because Emily's done it, and Spencer and Arya have done it a couple times. Like, I don't get it. Why didn't they just go through the back entrance in the first place?
To find out that the wall was sealed shut. I don't know. I wonder how do they keep getting in at this point? It's not like they found a key card or something in there that they're using. Like,
Hannah had the key card.
Oh yeah, she did. Okay, never mind. Never mind then. I was like, do they keep jumping over that back window and going in through the door every time? Like, that's just a little ridiculous and excessive. So, then the maid comes in, which is not really a maid.
No.
It's a creepy person in disguise.
Now, was this a female counterpart? Because the body build seems smaller.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Could that have been Sarah? She was wearing latex plastic gloves because cleaning lady.
Could have been. Very, very well could have been.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it may have been Sarah, because we were alluded to that there's two people. Because one seems like it wants to kill them, and the other seems like it wants to know who killed
Sarah.
No.
I mean,
Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's two. So one, I think, is definitely Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the one that was the maid, the sneaky one.
Okay.
So, yeah. One of the big questions we had from last week's episode was, what the hell is the Two Crows Diner?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, we see Emily go to the Two Crows Diner, try to get some information. Creepy truck is there.
It's a big truck.
It is. And tries to run her over. Multiple times.
A lot of times.
It scares the shit out of her, basically. It reminds me of, what's that movie where all the cars come to life and they try to run everybody over?
I don't know, but
You know the one I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about.
They're all like on the roof of like a garage or something, like a machine shop, like a car garage or whatever. At the end of the movie, they're like climbing dumpsters to get like onto the roof. Yeah, I don't know. It reminds me of that movie, and it's just because we never see the driver. It's like all blackout windows, everything. It's kind of crazy, and then it runs over Emily's phone, completely breaks her phone. It chases her up the top of a metal container, like a storage container, shipping crate, whatever. And the murder weapon, the quote-unquote murder weapon, is sitting at the top. See, they're coming looking for the murder weapon right now. It's sitting on the top of the container, and it's right where Emily's grabbing, so she's got her fingerprints all over it now.
Yes. That was the first thought that went to my head, like, ah, shit, Ems, you're in trouble now.
Yeah. And it's just like, the person, I don't want to say he, but the person gets out of the truck and takes it. Mm-hmm. They're wearing gloves. Now Emily's fingerprints are all over the quote-unquote murder weapon, the rectangular hollow metal piece, and now this person not only has Emily's eggs, but they have Emily's fingerprints on the quote-unquote murder weapon.
Yep.
Now what?
I don't know. I think there are two people on this new A side, because one is, constantly saying, our baby, kind of like trying to push her that way, but then the other one seems like wants to frame the girls. So
right. It's like one is back to the old games, and then you have a new one that's upping the stakes almost.
Getting the girls more involved in matters they cannot control in any way.
Mm-hmm. And it's like they're orchestrating everything. Like the way that whole thing with Emily played out, it's like destroying the phone, chasing her up the ladder, getting her fingerprints on the thing, having her drop it. Mm-hmm. That all seemed like the movie Saw to me. Where it's just like every single thing, every possibility that they could possibly do is pre-mapped out. And it's like, okay, well, they're going to do this, this, that, so I should do this, this, that to plan ahead and make sure that it goes exactly like this. And that's like, there's one of the Saw movies, and I know you stopped at like 1 or 2, right? Or maybe even 3.
The second one.
There's one that like between 3 and 4, like I don't want to ruin the movies or go into much detail, but there's a part where somebody ends up hitting like a lamp out of like frustration because they're locked in a warehouse, and they hit the lamp. In the 4th movie, we find out some of the events are taking place at the same time, and that noise from the guy hitting the lamp is what takes another guy in a completely different direction. He was going a completely different way, and it just so happened that noise turned him around and brought him on the right track. So it's just like, you couldn't plan for that, but it's like all these crazy happenstances just like played out perfectly because they were like pre-thought out, but that's the only one that is like, it didn't fit. So it was like this, I'm waiting for like Emily to do something that she's not supposed to do and get the guy all frustrated. So...
Well, I mean, she was back and forth within the walls of the diner. Like, the truck couldn't get to her at one point. Which means, I mean, like, that's another question for me. The lights were on inside the diner. Was there somebody there, or was nobody home?
Maybe the person who owns the diner is the one driving the truck.
Maybe.
So, but, I don't know, Emily, she had a lot going on this episode. She was also... flirting. Well, the guy was flirting with her. The guy Damien, who's the reporter, right?
Yeah, it started off with him like acting super interested in her, and she's just like, "All right, well, you know, we can study and we can books and school and things." And then she finds out from, I think it's
Hannah?
Spencer. Was it Hannah? With a text saying that, you know, Damien, he fooled around. He tried to get information on Spencer before. Don't trust him. So Emily's like, you know what, screw you, I'm gonna play this guy. And I found that really interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's we've seen him before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to date the other two girls, right? He was flirting with them, trying to...
It was near the beginning, and it was, he was trying to get information out of Spencer about her mom's campaign.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to get his information everywhere.
Is he the one that had the schedule thing with Mona? Is that him? I'm trying, because I don't remember Damien at all. Before this episode, anyway. Was that the one that Spencer was talking to and like confronted and said that I think you're asking more questions, what direction is this going? Yes. And then he had the thing speak to M. Vanderwall, you know, and that's that guy?
Yes.
Okay.
That's him.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, he's definitely up to some shady shit. Mm-hmm. We find out Melissa was back before Charlotte was released. She's been lying about it the whole time. She claims that she tossed her suitcase. And lied right to Caleb and Spencer about when it broke. She was like, yeah, there was a lot of traffic and baseball game and all this stuff, and she, you know, and Caleb's like, after she leaves, Caleb's like, that was an away game. There was no traffic. So Melissa's lying about something. She's always been super shady about that. And we get some more kind of information from a flashback from Hannah, when Hannah like corroborates and like, well, she kind of has some motive here. That Charlotte is basically the reason that Ren left her. Right? We hadn't heard about Ren until now, since the time jump. And apparently, Charlotte had phone privileges, ended up contacting Ren, and shared some info with her, or with him. And that drove him away from Melissa. Mm-hmm. So Melissa's like, well, somebody needs to shut her up for good, as in bump her off. Mm-hmm. So Melissa's already not too thrilled with her. I don't think Melissa's the one that killed her, because they're making it too obvious, but... and that's the thing with this show, and I believe it was April I was telling, is just like, anytime they try to point you in a direction and be like, here's all the pieces, here's why, it ends up being not the reason at all. So,
see, the way that I take this show is that I want who I want to be bad. Like, I have a lot of faith in Mona. I want Melissa to be gone. Like, when I heard that she was in a barrel somewhere, I was so happy.
We never found out what was in that barrel. The
Okay.
barrel was this big fucking mystery for like 3 episodes. Like the whole thing revolved around what's in the barrel. And then the barrel just disappeared and we never found out anything about it.
It's a
Nothing.
field hockey stick. What the fuck?
Yeah, the lacrosse stick and Tippy the parrot that just like disappeared for a really long time, but then came back for like 1 episode just to like tease us and be like, haha. And I'm like, fucking bird. And it was like A had the bird at that point. And it's like changed the newspaper in its cage, and that was like the last we ever saw of Tippy. And then there's been no mention whatsoever about Allison's dog. She had a dog. She got it. Her mother like got murdered and the dog ran away or something. We didn't see it run away. Like, the mother wasn't walking the dog. As far as we knew, the dog was still in the house where they had left the dog. And the dog has never been back. Just completely forgot the dog existed. So there's a lot of things in this show that they always just like leave you hanging on. Like, I guarantee you go on YouTube and you search like unanswered questions, Pretty Little Liars, and there's like a 100 page, here's the top 100 things that we don't know about. And that barrel better be number 1. So
When the speculation was that it was Melissa, I was really hoping that it was her.
yeah. It could be, but it probably isn't, because like I said, whenever they point it out and throw it in your face, that's when they pull the rug out from under you and be like, nope, it was actually Mona the whole time. And you're like, what? And then they show you like why it was Mona, and you're like, okay, well that makes sense now, but what? So yeah. We didn't actually see Mona at all this episode, did we? I don't remember seeing Mona.
I mean, when did she say that? When did she say that she was actually helping Spencer by giving her the phone? Was it this episode or was it last episode?
I think it was last episode. I'm not 100% sure on that. I watched this episode. Like, we're recording this Monday before the next episode, so it's been almost a full week since we've actually watched the episode. But yeah, no, but because Spencer, this episode, she confronted her mother about the cancer, right? And the results, and it surprisingly went fairly well. She made some sense to her. She's like, look, you need a transparent campaign. Like, you can't be cornered into this and have surprises and like keep everything a secret, and then it comes out and then you're scrambling. Like, that's not good. Like,
No.
If you want your campaign to work, you have to be honest. So,
well, I mean, she was basing her campaign on the transparency already.
right, exactly.
So Spencer's like, you need to fess up or you're going to be screwed.
Yeah, because if they leak that information, it's going to be terrible. So they end up having a press conference. And they tell everything. It goes well. You see Spencer and Caleb watching it at the brew. Like all this stuff goes on. And then all of a sudden, some information gets leaked about Yvonne. That she terminated a pregnancy. Now, whether that's right or wrong is neither here nor there. But the campaign, the whole platform for the basis of this election it's a pro-life campaign. So that does not sit well for Yvonne. No. Because it was done in secret, it's been hidden this whole time. And apparently it leaked from the Hastings office. And Caleb ends up taking the fall to keep Spencer out of trouble. So Spencer's mom flips out, basically kicks Caleb off the campaign and out of the house. Wants him nowhere near, get the fuck out, is basically what she said in much nicer words. Yeah. But Spencer's like, no, you can't take the fall for this. And he's like, no, I have to. So I feel like if Caleb didn't take the fall for it, then
Spencer would have been in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, but from a campaign point of view, it would have got blamed on Spencer and Caleb anyway. Spencer would have been tied to it. That puts more strain on the mother. This way, if they're like, oh, it was Spencer's boyfriend and we kicked him off the campaign and threw him out of the house, that seems better for the campaign, you know? So it gives them a chance of saving some face. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. But Ezra comes back.
Yep.
Right, he came back last week, but we didn't really see much, right?
No.
So it was this where Ezra confronts Arya and wants feedback on the new pages that he wrote. So Arya kind of has to fess up to the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, it went too well. Like, Ezra accepted that way too good.
I was floored. I didn't expect it to go like that at all.
I thought he was gonna rage out, like, cause he left a ball of fire. He was ready to just burn the whole town to the ground.
Yeah.
And he came back, and he's just like so chill.
He came back. He apologized for it. He said he was in the wrong. You know, all this stuff, and yeah, it was just it was crazy. But then we find out that Arya's been actually keeping a secret from Liam the whole time. The whole fact that that Arya and Ezra even dated, like, that was just omitted. Liam is thinking the whole time that Ezra's just her favorite teacher. Doesn't know why he's her favorite teacher. You know? So Ezra kind of spills the beans because Arya never told him not to say anything because she never thought that they were going to meet.
It was a really roundabout way of saying that me and Arya were together at one point. Like, he didn't come out right and say, like, oh, we dated. He was
he's like, this isn't about me and her.
Yeah.
Like, when we were together, you know, like, he worded it, but he didn't actually be like, oh, we... but it's assumed that you're going to tell somebody who you dated. You know, like, I never, ever put somebody in a position and just be like, oh, by the way, I dated that person that you met yesterday. Like, what? Like, no. You tell everybody, you be upfront about that kind of stuff. That way, if it comes out, you're not in a situation like this. Even if you think that they're never going to meet, there's that 1% chance it's going to happen somewhere. And then things get awkward. And then you're like, you know? I don't know.
Especially with a situation like that. I mean, Arya was in high school dating her teacher, which is a big no-no. So, I mean, it'd be different now if they had dated before Liam. Like, she's been out of school for 5 years and all that jazz. So, I mean, there's a big difference. I mean, honestly, I don't know why, other than the whole school issue, why Liam would be so pissed.
Because I think it's because
I mean, yeah, Ezra didn't say it.
Well, it's because Arya's been ghostwriting for Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
She's been doing that, like you said, you were about to say that Ezra that she did it for an act of love.
Yeah.
You know, and Liam's gonna realize all this, and the fact that she kept Ezra a secret from him. She's been staying in Ezra's apartment. You know, when he was gone, he knows that she was there. Like, she took him up to the room. Like, so she knows. I mean, Liam knows that she has access to Ezra's room. You know, above the brew. He knows this, and you know, the fact that he kept it a secret. She's been away for so long. It's just all this stuff compounded. Like, nobody would be happy to find out that you've risked your entire job for your ex-boyfriend's, you know, writing. You're writing paper for him. You're staying at his place, whether he's there or not. That's just all red flags. You don't want that. So, I don't know. It's a big mess, and I didn't think that they were gonna come to any kind of agreement on that, because Liam just kind of like leaves, and Arya's calling him for a couple days or whatever. And it isn't until when Arya ends up marrying. It's so weird. Arya becomes the like a licensed. What is it? A wedder? Like what's
I don't know.
what's the term for that?
Honestly, I don't know. All I know is that she said words, and her dad and her mom are married again.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's the pastor. I don't know. No, she's not a pastor. I don't know what she is. She's able. She's a licensed marriage person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like, because her parents, well, it was basically her dad was like, look, I mean, your mom would really like this, feel like it would have been better coming from the mom, but coming from the dad makes more sense, because then he was able to explain why Mike wasn't around, and that's because Mike doesn't forgive him for what he did to Ella.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. Byron, he really seems to have changed. Like, he's more laid back and focused now, as opposed to like sneaking around. Like, yeah, sure, he was sneaking around with Ella just the other day or whatever. But that's a bit of a different story. I don't know. I think everything's going to be good with them from here on out. I don't think there's going to be much problems. You think otherwise?
This new A situation is going to put a damper on that.
See, I don't think so.
I do.
Yeah? I think this is the one thing that's going to go good. Because even Ezra says, see, the secret, something good came out of that. So.
And that's why I think that something's going to happen. I mean, they're trying to focus on Arya's job right now, but she already proved that she would drop her job at the drop of a dime. She doesn't care. She was going to give it up for Ezra. Her parents, on the other hand, she married them. She obviously cares.
Yeah.
If something were to happen to that, she'd be devastated.
Yeah. You were upset that Elle was wearing a black dress. You were just like, that doesn't seem like what she would wear. I mean, no?
I mean, the style, the color, and everything. I see Mary, Ella, Marie, wearing something completely different. Even though it's her second marriage, she said she wanted, she explained that their first marriage wasn't very extravagant. That dress didn't seem super extravagant to me. I mean, yes, Hannah picked it out. She's a fashion designer. What the hell ever.
Hannah had a job again for 2 days. You know? It was nice.
But I thought it'd be a little bit more out there. Not like crazy, but bold.
Yeah. But, see, Hannah picked out the dress, and her and Ella were having, this nice conversation about, how your first love will find a way back. And, that's Hannah saying it, so clearly she has Caleb in mind, subliminally when she's talking about it. And Ella was just like, Byron wasn't my first love. My first love was so-and-so. It was a drummer or whatever. And
musician, yeah.
Yeah, guitar player. I don't remember now. It was a musician, yeah. And I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. It was done. So, kind of dampered Haleb. Yeah, dampered Haleb. Hannah and Caleb.
I mean, it didn't push Hannah, but it made her finally decide that she does want to marry, what's his name?
Jordan?
Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay. She even set a date.
She did, May 17th.
Yeah, a really interesting date.
Yes. Why is it an interesting date?
Because it happens to be a Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is when Pretty Little Liars actually airs.
Aha!
So we're gonna get a wedding?
Yeah. May 17th seems like a wedding day on the show. So that May 17th, let's pull up my calendar here. February, March, We're at the beginning of March right now. Tomorrow's episode is the 1st. So 1, 8, 15, 22, 29, 5, 12. That's April. 19, 26, 3, 10.
They're gonna have to take a break here soon if
11,
that's the case.
12. That's 12 weeks from now. And I'm thinking...
They're gonna start off the season with the wedding?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because we know that when the season... Because we're... What did I say? 10 weeks away?
12.
12 weeks away. So we're on episode 17. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's like 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And we know that there's only like a month, maybe 2, between seasons.
Yeah.
Let me look right now. I'm going to pull this up really quick. List of episodes. Usually the show track record has come back in June. Every time that the show's come back, it's been in June. Mm-hmm. And it always ends around the end of March. So, yeah, every single time it's ended in March and it's come back in June.
Maybe they're gonna slip in a special episode for us.
They could. I mean, the shows have typically gone 24, 25 episodes. Mm-hmm. So we're on episode 17 right now. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 8 out of 12. So if they take even just a couple weeks break, or do one, because we didn't have a holiday episode this year. Mm-mm. So, well, we kind of did Last Dance. I think was no, that was the prom. I thought that was a winter dance. That was the season before. That was How the A Stole Christmas. That was in December. Yeah, we didn't have a holiday episode at all this season. So maybe. It'd be interesting. I'd like to see it. I want to see them do something like that, because that would be great if they timed it all, out with that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so anyway, at the actual wedding that Hannah was helping with, that's how we ended up getting on that topic to begin with. That's where Liam shows up. Mm-hmm. And, Arya kind of explains her closure with Ezra, how she needed it. She never got it. That's kind of why she didn't talk to him. And he's just giving all these cheesy lines like, well, how does this end? Because they're writers, and he's got to write cheesy stories. And how does it all end? And Arya's just like, well, I didn't know till right now. And ooh, lip lock, and they're tongue wrestling, and it's just, I don't know. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how that ends. I mean, we won't know until next episode. Mm-hmm. How Liam and Arya are holding it up.
we see them back at Arya's place. Mm. And they're ooh, and the fucking doorbell rings at 1 a.m. Instantly, eyes, mind starts going to, ooh, it's got to be A. What's A doing? Ooh. But it's not. It's Allison. Allison and Mr. Rollins. Right? We found out last week, that they had something going on, and they've kind of been telling people. Like Allie got text this episode. This is the first time that she gets the texts, and the text said they know why Charlotte left the house. Mm-hmm. So she kind of comes forth and tells Dr. Rollins.
Mm-hmm. Did she tell Emily too?
Yeah, I think all the girls know that.
All the girls know now.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
And then we find out that Allison actually told Charlotte about Dr. Rollins the night of the thing, and it really upset her. So,
which is possibly the reason why she left.
yeah. So now Allison's feeling guilty about it, and Dr. Rollins is just like, no, look, you need to feel normalcy, and, you know, I'm going to help you through all this, and da-da-da-da-da. So they, all of a sudden, they want to get married. We were just talking the last episode you were on, how, you know, in the flashback from the very first time that we had the time jump, the flash forward, I should say, that Allison's writing Mrs. Rollins on the board, so we kind of knew it was going in this direction anyway, and she asks Arya to marry them. And Arya's just like, what?
At 1 a.m., I seriously thought that they were both, like, smashed when Arya opened that door. They just looked so goofy.
Yeah.
It didn't look like
They
two
could
people
have been.
in love. They looked like they were just... It cleared up. Like, Allison got really, like, straight with Arya near the end of that scene.
She was love struck.
It just seemed really off.
Yeah, I agree. But she did have a good point. The backyard was still set up, you know, everything. If she went the next day, that backyard was going to be cleaned up. So, it seems like Arya married them.
Maybe.
Maybe. And then at the very, very, very end of the episode, we see A setting up some universal remotes. He's got 2 of them, 2 separate ones there. And then it pans over, and we see
Ella and Byron's wedding cake.
So A was, in fact, at the wedding. So now, I went back and studied every single person that we saw at the wedding ceremony, and none of them were the creepy old guy in the mask, and none were the maid. Even though we saw the glasses that we saw the maid wearing on the desk while they were setting up the remotes. So that's what's kind of leading. I know we were talking about that it could have been Sarah, and I think that's what's the part that's leading me away from Sarah, because if Sarah doesn't have full use of her hands, that person was programming remote controls with their hands. So it's either Sarah's lying about that, which could very well be the case, or it's not her. So we got to find out a little bit more about that. And then everything outside of that, you know, we saw A had also messed with Emily a little bit and sent Emily a package and was like, look, you need to start talking before our baby does. So A's up to a lot of fucking crazy shady shit, and that includes like artificial insemination. Like what? With Emily's eggs, like things could get bad.
So maybe M's eggs are gonna be in Sarah?
Maybe. Get those turkey basters ready. For next week, the episode is called Burn This. Well, technically it's tomorrow, since we're recording on the last day. But Burn This. After the stalker nearly killed Emily, the liars begin to take threats more seriously and attempt to keep their mouths shut to prevent any further harm. Caleb must deal with the collateral damage of taking the blame for the leak about Yvonne. Spencer tries to comfort him and get him to tell the truth. Emily goes on a mission to track down who came after her. Arya and Ezra move forward with the novel.
So they're working together.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Hannah avoids dealing with her personal life.
Okay.
So.
I mean, she just decided that she wanted to get married on an exact day, and now she has to plan it, and it doesn't seem like she has that much time.
Yeah. So, I'm sure Caleb is going to add some tension and stress to that as well.
Of course, because, you know, Spencer's going to try to comfort him, but he's going to run to Hannah.
Yep. I'm more curious to find out what A's doing with those universal remotes and how they're going to tie into the episode. Sometimes they don't tie in right away. So don't even expect them for this episode. They may come next week or the week after. They set things up like way in advance for the A kind of scenarios. Or it may have been for something that already happened that we don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember anything going crazy with technology so far.
Yeah.
But, you know. You have anything else for us?
No.
No. That about wraps it up. Yes. Nikki, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDON. You can also find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, Space, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week, April, feel better.
Yep. Eat some soup.
Soup?
Drink some tea.
Ginseng tea?
Lemon honey tea.
Ooh. And wedding cake.
Yes, lots of wedding cake.
From Ella and Byron's wedding.